Everybody, and welcome to the Marvel Plus podcast, or should I say, welcome back. We're back with a new episode. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every Sunday at 8 p.m., or the show that talks about the Marvel shows on Disney Plus and how they connect to the MCU. Today we're talking about the What If series. We're talking about episode 1, the What If scenario. What if Agent Carter took the super soldier Serum instead of Steve? It was a fun show. Obviously, we got the twist that it's animated. We have learned, I know we were speculating about it before, whether it's going to be connected or if this was just fun side stuff. We have learned from the director that this is, in fact, tied in to the rest, continuity-wise, Marvel-wise. So I think this is just a fun alternative way to take what we saw in Loki with the branching timelines and the whole Kang stuff happening, that we can explore these different timelines, storylines, etc. a little bit easier with the animation route. Not to say animation is easy to create or anything like that, but I'm sure contracts are a whole lot less to do voiceovers compared to act it all out in production. So I think this is just the path they decided to take with how do we discover these or show more of these choices instead of doing separate films, movies, productions for it. So we've learned it's tied into the MCU. We've also, it's been announced that there will be multiple seasons of the What If series. So, cool thing there. Obviously, we'll kick it off with this episode, and we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah, the situation, like I said, is what if Agent Carter had taken the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers to become Captain America. The only thing that kind of triggers this change is Peggy decides to stay down in the testing facility when the procedure happens instead of observing it from like the observation deck, I guess you could say. So she decides to stay down there while this occurs. For whatever reason, this triggers the shooter, the Hydra agent there, to take action sooner. Actually, it winds up injuring Steve. I'm not sure if he was fully... I don't think he was paralyzed. He did definitely get shot in the leg. So injuring him, they take care of the guard, no problem. Peggy decides to hop in the machine while Steve is inactive or, not able to get into the machine, using the serum, and Howard flips the switch. We're good to go. Because if not, they would lose it, and not good things would happen. So Peggy immediately steps in, goes through the transformation, and becomes jacked. His whole shit becomes the super soldier. We see the post results, the usual, this pretty much almost the exact same shot for shot as the Captain America movie, where they're all like, holy shit, it worked, great things. But unfortunately, the general dude, whoever was running this operation or was in charge, is not a happy man. Not a happy man at all. Kind of a dick, to be honest. And I mean, it's a sign of the times. Unfortunately, women were not wanted in these roles of, higher up status. So, and also, oh, this was our one shot, blah, blah, blah. You ruined it, even though she didn't. So he's kind of a dick. And we're now going to progress with Peggy being infused with the super soldier serum and eventually taking the moniker of Captain Carter. So yeah, she gets jacked out. So as this opening happens, I kind of had a little bit of a thought of like the voice acting that's going on. Now, I know they got some people to reprise their roles. So like, for example, Haley Atwell is reprising her role as Peggy Carter. Sebastian Stan is reprising his role as Bucky Barnes, which we'll run into later in this episode. I don't think Chris Evans reprised as Steve Rogers for Captain America. But yeah, it was interesting listening back to it or listening to it while I'm watching it. Haley, I could tell it was her. Sebastian Stan and some other characters felt off for some reason. I'm not sure if it was just the audio was playing fast or the characters themselves were really talking fast. Everything seemed very fast paced. And I'll talk about it later once we wrap up the episode, but like the pacing of the show was very interesting. I'll talk more about that later. So anyways, we're going to go into Peggy being Captain Carter. She's, got the whole get-up of the British flag, armor, suit, and she has the shield with the, was it Union Jack logo on it. And she's fucking crazy. It shows the difference between, an agent that was trained for a more military role and the newbie that was Steve. She embraces it quick, and she does some crazy stuff with this shield combat-wise. And, overall, it's nuts. So they learn about the Tesseract, that Red Skull has gone and acquired it and has this weapon. Obviously, they don't want him to have it, so they're going to attempt to stop him. So we see the train sequence where, we attempted to capture Arnim Zola in Captain America, and unfortunately lost Bucky there. Bucky's not a part of the equation just yet, so we have some events getting flip-flopped there. So Bucky's not going to be lost here, which is good. I was getting a little scared just seeing the train sequence if maybe Steve was going to be the one that was lost here, but what didn't end up to be the case. So we get to the train, we capture Arnim Zola, and we recover the Tesseract. Is that where I'm at, or am I skipping ahead? I am skipping ahead. My bad. Rewind. Bucky. Let's do Bucky first. So we do decide to go save Bucky eventually. Wait a minute. Recovering the Tesseract instead of saving Bucky. Oh, okay. Okay. I think I get where we're going. Oof. Man, this will happen when you wait a week to watch the show or do the podcast. So we decided to go after the Tesseract first. Peggy wrecks shop, destroys a couple of Jeeps with her shield. She's having a blast out there. They capture Arnim Zola, who has the Tesseract. So the Tesseract is now in their possession. They're learning about it. They're trying to figure out what Red Skull was trying to do with this. Howard is going to research the Tesseract and kind of realize that it's a power source. And to help Steve out because of his injury, he's going to make essentially him a Ironmonger suit that we saw in Iron 1, but we're going to call it the Hydra Stomper. And he is going to now be able to go and help out Peggy in her missions along with, the rest of the troop. So the Tesseract is now powering the Ironmonger suit, as far as I can tell, the Hydra Stomper. So, with this, we now learn that Bucky is in trouble, just like the Captain America films. We decided to go save Bucky. We do that along with the rest of the Howling Commandos, similar to Captain America 1. So, we're now full-on action instead of just kind of keeping Captain Carter in the sidelines of, this was a wasted experiment, you're a woman, etc., etc. So she's there. So we kind of get a little bit of a montage of Captain Carter in action and the Hydra Stomper in action, teaming up to kind of push the war efforts. Once again, drawing parallels to the Captain America movie. So we get that. So now we're focusing back on the Red Skull. And Red Skull notes that, he wants to summon a champion for Hydra beyond the stars. Some threat that he's trying to bring to Earth to kind of help their group. Interesting. So we know his intentions now, what he planned on doing with the Tesseract. So, now the U.S. troop has decided, okay, we got to stop Red Skull. Now we get the train. We get the train. They're attempting to stop it to obviously get Red Skull. Turns out this train operation is a trap. Steve tries to make it to the head compartment of the train in order to stop Red Skull. That's where he learns that there's the bombs there. He tells everybody to get out of there. Explosion goes off. Oh no, we think Steve dies. kind of throwing into my theory of like, is Steve going to be the Bucky role here with the Winter Soldier thing? Turns out Steve is not going to die. He will get captured though, but he's not going to pass from this explosion. Luckily, the Hydra Stomper armor has kept him safe. Alright, so they do end up finding or capturing one Hydra scientist and interrogating them and learning about Red Skull's actual location, which is this big-ass castle thing, wherever that may be. So, now that Steve has been captured in the Hydra Stomper outfit, Red Skull is now, and Hydra, is now back in control of the Tesseract. So they have that back in their possession. So the guys are going to go, along with Agent Carter, to stop Red Skull at his castle. We see Red Skull is now opening a dimension using the Tesseract to summon the champion of Hydra. It is some type of squid. There's been things going around online that maybe it's Shuma Gorath from the Doctor Strange series and, selfishly, from the Marvel vs. Capcom series. No hard confirmation on that, but that's one way to tie it in. He summons the squid, he's all happy, and the squid immediately murders Red Skull. So bye-bye, he's taken care of. Carter has made it in along with the other troop, and they've decided to split up. So Captain Carter is going, I believe, the top of the castle, and then Bucky and the Howling Commandos are going to go the lower ends of the castle. Captain Carter's wrecking shop. She finds a sword, uses that to her advantage, and she is fighting the squid, trying to deal with that in this big portal that it is kind of entering through. The Howling Commandos, while going south, will end up finding Steve and the Hydra Stomper, and Steve's like, oh, we gotta help, you know, she's in trouble because all of this fucking squid nonsense. His suit's low power. He decides to hop in anyway and blasts his way up to Peggy, Captain Carter, to help her out. We see the big fight between Captain Carter and the squid. Seems like it's winning, but she doesn't know exactly how to stop the squid. Peggy has decided that she's going to push the squid back through the door and the space portal that the Tesseract has opened, and it seems like she's going to sacrifice herself like Captain America did with the bombs and freezing himself. She pushes the squid back into the space portal. We get the whole moment of, like, you know, planning our dance between her and Steve. The door shuts. Captain Carter is with the squid, and we are left with the rest of the guys just baffled. Mission accomplished here, unfortunately losing her. We'll jump ahead to see one final moment of this episode. We see the Tesseract sitting on a platform, small circular platform, shoots out, opens the door. Captain Carter comes back out of that door, and we see, or we hear a voice. It turns out to be Nick Fury and Hawkeye from Avengers 1, and she is taking the place of Loki in at least that arrival, and now she is in the future. So she's in present day, at least of Avengers 1. So that's how they kind of took that. Instead of freezing her route, this is how we decided to have that time jump. So that's pretty much the episode. Now, you're probably saying, Brett, you just talked really fast, and there wasn't a whole lot of explanation in between. Granted, I'm not going to talk about everything, but that is a big thing. This episode runtime was only 33 minutes. Now, granted, I talked about, or I alluded to this point earlier in the episode. We are attempting to take a movie, Captain America the First Avenger, which was roughly 2 hours something, 2 hours change probably. We are attempting to take that film and squish it, condense it into a 33-minute episode. That's rough. And unfortunately, I don't know if that plays well with the series so far. Now, granted, we are on episode 1, so I totally get that. I felt like the whole time it was like our foot is on the gas, we're flooring it, and we're going through these things. Was it cool to see Captain Carter in action? Absolutely. Was it cool to see the things that have changed because of this thing? Yes. But everything was like one moment, just bing, 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 things happening. Almost so much that you couldn't, not process it, but it was nothing got the chance to breathe and be its own thing, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure how this is going to play with the series overall. I think something that may be stronger going forward, I don't know obviously if it's the case, but if these what if stories don't follow necessarily the story beats of the movie, like this one, like I said, was very in line with Captain America film. I think it might be better if it's just its own thing. Like, obviously, they're all their own thing. They're all different tellings of stories. If it's just like, here's the different moment, and then it's all new from there. Like, I mean, it is technically all new because it's a different story, but like, it's not following the story beats of films we've seen in the past, if that makes sense. So, for example, this coming Tuesday, as of recording, or Wednesday, is going to be episode 2 of What If. It's going to be if Black Panther, T'Challa got taken by Yondu instead of Star-Lord, and we do Guardians of the Galaxy that way. If they can make that its own story instead of following the story beats of just Star-Lord and being Black Panther instead, I think that could work. Now, we've already seen like the teases of like him going to get the Power Stone or the Power Gem for the Infinity Gauntlet the same way through the the ruins. That's fine. That kind of makes sense. But from there, it's going to be kind of stepping on eggshells. Like, is he still going to go to jail and do all the same stuff there? Is he still going to fight Ronin? Like, a lot of questions that obviously we can't answer until we see the same episode. But with it being these quick points that we need to hit, it's not my most favorite yet. And it's unfortunate because selfishly, I was the most excited for this series. Like, I was just looking forward to it because I thought it'd be dumb fun, which it is. But the way that they're doing it story-wise, it's too fast for me. I hope that makes sense. Maybe if we had gotten hour-long episodes compared to a half hour, maybe that would be better. I don't know. There's no post-credit scene in this one. If it was her showing up with Fury and Hawkeye. I don't think that was post-credits. I think that just happened at the end of the episode. The only reason I know that it's going to be the Star-Lord, Black Panther what-if scenario, I think IGN posted about it and put that online, that they revealed that was that, because it's going to be Chadwick Boseman's last appearance as the character voicing Black Panther, because of unfortunately his passing. So that, I think that was just, they were making it more public because of that. But as far as I know, there was no post credits thing. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. Speaking of original stories, you could see it on the Disney Plus home screen for What If, or you could have seen it in the trailers. I'm really intrigued about this zombie storyline of, like, they've showed Captain America being zombified, and I think maybe even Iron Man. I'm interested about that one because obviously I'm like, what's the cause of that zombified, MCU storyline? Because with that cause being unknown, we can't really pinpoint, like, oh, it's that movie they're going to frame it after. So I think right now that has the most intrigue of being the most quote-unquote original and not feel rushed potentially. But we'll have to see. Other confirmed episodes that we have right now, obviously we know about Black Panther and Star-Lord. There's one where Killmonger saves Tony Stark at the very beginning. That one could be interesting. There's another one, I believe, with Gamora, at least based on the home screen on Disney Plus, and then the zombie one, which I talked about. So that's 4 episodes. I don't know how long this season is. I want to say it's 6 episodes, so that only covers 5, so we're missing one. Oh, there's a Doctor Strange and Spider-Man one in there, which you can see on the home screen as well, or the dashboard. Spider-Man's got the cape on for some reason, so maybe that's another interesting one too. We'll have to see going forward. Maybe just because this one lent itself so well to the Captain America movie, maybe that's why it's so, like, point to point. Only time will tell. So I think right now with episode 1, at least walking away from it, or like when I finished watching it, I was like hesitant on it, of like my excitement levels. Nothing wrong with the character. If they, continue on with Captain Carter, totally fine with that. There's rumors of maybe bringing her back for a live action, if like down the road, obviously, because these are canon timelines. If the multiverse thing does happen and we pull characters from different areas, I think that'd be really cool to have her in. But, if not, she's a fun character. It's cool to see the action there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. I'm very excited for Wednesday, just like I said, to see if it goes point to point with Guardians of the Galaxy, or if it kind of goes a little bit more original. Overall, do I wish the episodes were longer? Of course, but I get it. Animation takes a lot of time, a lot of resources, so we'll just have to see how it plays out. But yeah, what did you guys think of the show? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll try and bring them up in next week's episode. But yes, this has been another episode of the Marvel Plus podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911, and I appreciate you guys hanging out today. If you want to catch it live, you can go to twitch.tv/Enigma911 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat like Mrs. G did today. If you're a subscriber over there, we'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, that's a-okay. It's posted the very next day on YouTube and SoundCloud as a video and MP3 for your amusement. But yeah, guys, hope you guys are enjoying What If series so far. Let me know what you think, like I said, in the comments below. Be happy to talk with you guys more about Marvel. And yeah, I'm excited to be back with the show. I'm excited to talk more Marvel with you guys and all about the MCU stuff. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And have a good one, everybody.